There's a movie being shot in Cork at present, The Vein Within, written and directed by Philip A. McCarthy. He likes mentioning the A because it's Antonio. When he goes abroad, you see, he professes himself to be one of our top directors, and believe you me, he definitely is. He had a short movie in Cannes last year, and this, The Vein Within, it's going to be shown in Los Angeles in 2012 when all the editing and cutting is done, and it's packaged just perfect the way he is, because he does work as a perfectionist. We have 3 cast members in today. We have Trevor Carney, Ivan Carney, not related one way or the other. You know, there are more Murphys than one. And Colin Patrick. What's your surname, Patrick, again?
Sorry?
What's your surname?
It's actually Colin Patrick Kelleher.
Kelleher. Oh, you had a good Cork name as well.
That's it.
Kelleher. And Ivana, we'll start with you first. It's how did you jump in on this project?
Well, Philip saw me in the Tolman Bar singing one night, and he heard that I was an actress, and I've been acting in the Gaiety School since I was 5.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I went on to the Graffiti School of Acting.
Oh, good stuff, yeah, I remember that.
And Philip asked me to play a part in his film. Originally I was Magella, and then he called me one morning and he asked me, how much time off school can I get? And I said, well, I don't know. And then he goes, okay, because I was going to offer you the lead role. And I goes, oh.
Now, this is taken into account, of course, that your education is very important.
Yeah, I'm in 6th year, so it's very important.
Ooh,
yeah.
Leaving cert.
So we hung up, and then I went up to my mum and I goes, Mum, I really, really want to do it. And then she goes, well, call him back. So I called him back and I said, will I be missing much school? And he goes, no, not much school. And then I goes, okay, I'll do it. So
and how many days a week is this been? Are you needed for the main shooting?
Well, luckily he said I need to take a week off, but it's during my midterm. Luckily that fell on that.
Fabulous, good stuff indeed. Of course, you come from a family of entertainers anyway. You've got a brother who's a famous magician.
Yeah, I do, Jared Carney.
And he's just absolutely fantastic, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's brilliant.
Super, absolutely. I've seen him perform many, many times. Great guy indeed. So, were you nervous when you were asked for this, Savannah?
I was caught off guard. I wasn't expecting it. But once I heard it, I was like, definitely. Because when he asked me to do the lead role, I already read the script. And I thought when I read the script, if Philip can pull this off, it's going to be a brilliant movie. So
it is a brilliant movie. Did you realise at the time, or do you realise the amount of drugs and the availability of drugs in Cork?
Yes, Philip has been telling me stories here and there, so I have become...
So it's opened your eyes to what's going on, because normally we would all be sheltered from that.
Yeah.
And it's a movie like this that would bring it out, and aptly entitled The Vein Within.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant how he's bringing awareness to what it is and what the troubles that it causes.
The troubles that it's causing, indeed.
Yeah.
I also believe that you're a fantastic singer, and you got to the semi-final last night. But we're not going to ask you to sing, I can assure you that. She's getting all shy now, she's blushing. So not only, probably she could sing the title track. There's something for you now. They get them to do James Bond, all-female title track, so maybe you could sing the title track. Trevor, good morning to you as well.
Good morning,
sir.
how are you doing?
You look better without makeup.
Yeah.
I've seen you with black eyes, I've seen you with scars, I've seen you lying on the ground in various locations around the city. How did you get into acting?
The makeup artist is fantastic.
Superb.
So, she does a brilliant job.
I wonder could she do anything with me?
I actually met Philip about 16 years ago in acting classes in I think it was a Gaiety course we were doing in Ashton School, and it was we started doing all little things like improvisation and just a basic course and it kind of went from there, and I went on to do lots of plays and things, and up in Dublin I was involved in the Driocht in Blanchardstown.
Right, yes.
And I done a few productions up there. One of them was Scrooge, or it was 14 nights in a row. But it was like, I love the theatre myself, you know. It's great crack, you know.
Would you prefer theatre to film?
Well, it's a completely different type of
it's a different medium,
because,
isn't it?
yeah, because you know, like with you have to have it right on the night with the theatre, and you know, if you forget your lines, improvisation has to come in.
There's no prompting, you see.
There's no stopping, like, you know. But with the film, you know, we're stopping and we're doing takes over and over, and it's tough, like, you know. It can be.
I was going to ask you that question,
yeah.
because a lot of people would think that there's yourself, Ivana, there's Colin and yourself, and you're all thinking, people think, oh, it's an easy job, you know.
Yeah.
They just go and they action, cut. You might have to do that from 11 different angles and do exactly the same thing, and the continuity of that, and that's boring.
I mean, for like maybe for 3 or 4 minutes that you'll see on film could have taken 2 days to shoot, you know, which is the reality of the filming, like, you know. And I mean, up to date, I think we've like something like 17 hours of film.
For a movie that's going to run for how long?
For about an hour and a half.
An hour and a half. You know? You've got 17 hours.
Yeah. So there's a lot that's going to end up on the cutting floor, like, and as you know, and you know, it'll be, you know, what's going to make this movie is the editing of it, really, like, you know, apart from all the work that's been put in the acting, but it's the cutting down and piecing together the puzzle, because, you know, as we film, we don't film from start to finish. You know, we could be filming an end scene.
I was going to ask you that. Yeah. How did you get that into your head?
Scene. Well, it's Philip, really. Like, Philip is we just follow the direction of what Philip says, and, you know, he takes the...
He's smiling like a Cheshire cat, isn't he?
Philip, you know, he's talented at what he does, like, you know, and he's eating and sleeping this movie, like, you know, and it can't be easy because, as you know, he was after writing it, he's directing it, and, you know, and casting it, and, you know, it's hard to know what you're going to do on a certain day, and, you know...
Because you have to get the location right.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to have you and the rest of the cast in the mind frame that he wants, that he's in. You have to be in his head, and he must be in your head.
And plus remembering things like, you know, I could have a scar on one day, and this is at a certain part of the movie, but then other days I don't have a scar
because
at all.
You haven't come to that part of the movie yet. So that must be hard too.
Yeah, it's just getting all that right. The little things that people probably just wouldn't take any notice of.
That's because we're Egypts.
The little particular things, like, you know, they're the hardest things to get right, and as hard as it is, it's an amazing experience.
So really, how old are you now?
I'm 33 in January.
You're 33 in January. You look about 24. So acting is a good profession to be in. Yeah. When you finish with this, you're going to hopefully go on to bigger and brighter things.
Hopefully, yeah.
Because this could be the
movies already.
You've been in a few movies already. Can you give us the names of them?
I was in Strength and Honour.
I remember that.
Yeah, the Michael Mahon one, and I was in a production in Dublin. It was a BBC production, 2-part miniseries called Fallout.
Fallout,
yeah.
Indeed.
Played a guard in that, and it was. But as I said, it was just totally different things as well. You know what I mean? Totally different. It's great to be able to, you know, like to take on different roles and to be different people, and to, you know, to express yourself in acting. For me is just a wonderful way to
express yourself, and of course the availability of work then of course is rather scarce here in.
It's tough. It's a tough business, very tough business.
I mean, if Philip wasn't doing this movie, you would be probably in Dublin or in England trying applying your trade over there.
Yeah. So it's funny actually how I actually even got casted for the movie. I was actually home from Dublin. I was living up in Dublin, and I was driving through Patrick Street, and I seen Philip, you know, and I waved out the window to him, and he said, "Trevor, you know, I need you for a part of my movie," you know. So I said, "Yeah, I'd be delighted," and we exchanged numbers again because we hadn't seen each other in so many years, you know. So it was fantastic how it just all came together, like.